Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Russian people say Kasha пища наша. It means Kasha is our food. And in today's video, Kasha is going to be exactly what I'm going to talk about. Today we are going to talk about Russian Kashas and I'm going to show how to cook them. Simply speaking, Kasha is a meal that is cooked from different types of grains. Grains that are cooked, that are boiled in milk, usually in milk, or in water. It depends on the kind of grain that you're using. Actually, the word kasha itself means some sort of a mess, when something is in a mess, or something is like mixed up. We even say sometimes in Russian language, we can say, I have kasha in my head. I have kasha in my brains. What does it mean? It means that my thoughts are all mixed up, I'm confused, right? Or like a person has no specific, thoughts. He's acting kind of strange and things like that. So, okay, let's not beat around the bush. Let us turn straight to our kashas and see what is it made of. Now, kasha is made of different kinds of grains that we use. For example, oatmeal. Well, everyone knows what oatmeal is, and I guess everybody is cooking it more or less the same throughout the world. You can cook it on with water, or you can cook it with milk. And there isn't much interesting about oatmeal, so let's go further. The other type of kasha is made from rice. Now we are usually using Russian rice that grows in a region called Kubань. And yes, it is a little bit different from the usual rice. As you can see, its structure is smaller and more round. The seeds themselves are not long, they are short like this, but it's really good for cooking kasha because its structure almost breaks and you have a really messy structure in the end. Well, then we have wheat. This is called Manka in Russia, and this is the first type of kasha that is fed to little children, little babies. This is wheat that has been grounded, but this is not exactly. Oh, this is not flour. This is manka. Here, I'll try showing you. It has little pieces of grain in it. This is the most popular one, and I guess all Russian people are divided into two groups. One group absolutely hates manka. They cannot stand it, and whenever they think of eating manka in their childhood, they have shivers. Now, the second type of people really loves manka, adores it, and I'm one of those people who really loves manka. Okay, now we are turning to buckwheat. I don't know if you heard about it, but yes, Russian people love eating buckwheat. It looks like this. If you haven't seen it before, that's how it looks like. Now, this type of kasha is made with water. We usually use water for cooking this, right? And then if we want, at the end, we can add some milk into it. Well, I will show you how I make it later. And this type of grain is called, I've looked it up in the dictionary, and it's called millet in English. I don't know if the translation is correct, sorry guys, but in Russia this is called pshonka. Just small, round grains like this. This can also be cooked with milk or with water, depends on how you prefer to have it. Well, Let's make kasha. First, I'm gonna make I'm gonna make this one because this is the fastest to cook. I'm using this kind of saucepans for cooking kasha because kasha doesn't stick to the bottom of these things. Uh, I think this is made from aluminium, or shall I say aluminum? Aluminum. And for mixing it, we will need this because we don't want to have little chunks in our kasha. We want it to have a smooth, even structure. All we need to do is to put some milk, wait until milk turns warm, and then add our manka. While our milk is heating up, we can put some salt, not too much. We can add some sugar. Now, when it boils, we will need about 1 minute or sometimes even less. Now I can feel that it became thicker, so it's time for me to set it aside. It's ready. Really fast and very simple. By the way, my younger son likes this for breakfast a lot. And my older one likes having oatmeal kasha for breakfast. Second type of kasha that we're cooking today is rice kasha. And of course, first we need to wash the rice. Now, rice kasha needs more time to be cooked because we need our rice to almost dissolve in our liquid. So at first I'm using water and I'm going to be boiling it in water for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add milk and continue cooking it in milk. Yeah, we will also need to put some salt and some sugar. Don't forget to stir it. Third type of kasha that we're cooking today is buckwheat kasha, and before washing the grain we will need to look through it in order to take out all the bad grains that are possibly there. I advise you not to skip this part. Bad stuff, good stuff. Now why am I doing this? Because sometimes there are little pieces of grain that weren't completely peeled, and they're like hard pieces of those unpeeled grain that can stick in your teeth. So it's better to look through your grain before you cook it. Now I'm putting some salt into my buckwheat, and I'm not gonna put sugar because buckwheat kasha is something that is salty. It is not sweet. I'm just putting in some hot water to speed up the process. Actually, if you're planning to cook this the following day, you can just put the grain into the water, like the clean grain into the water, and just leave it overnight. And in the morning, it will only take you a couple of minutes to cook this. Okay, the rice has almost no water left. I'm putting in the milk. And the last one, our millet kasha. We are doing it in the same way as with buckwheat. First, we need to look through the grain. Oh, I found one. This one is not cleaned. It's not peeled. That's how much I didn't like. Just a few. Now I'm also putting some sugar and salt into the millet, and I'm gonna start cooking this in water, and then I will continue cooking this in milk. Now, one little but very important thing that you have to remember when you're cooking kasha is that grains, when they are cooked, they absorb liquid and they expand in volume. So, if you don't want your kasha to get out from your saucepan, you have to be careful and put it in a slightly more, like slightly bigger saucepan. And of course, if you're cooking something with milk, when milk starts boiling, it also it has bubbles and it expands and it can run away. We are calling this in Russia run away. We say your milk has run away. It means that milk is already on your stove, but not in your saucepan. Thing that I forgot to mention is that when you're cooking buckwheat, it's really useful to put just a little piece of butter. The butter in buckwheat helps pieces of grain to stay firm, not to fall apart. Because in the case with buckwheat, we do want the grain to stay firm, and all the other kashas, in the case of all the other kashas, we want the grain to break and to become really like this whole thing to become really messy. Alright guys, now as you can see my kashas are finally ready. Now it took me 1 minute to cook this kasha. Well, a little bit more than 1 minute, but really fast. It took me about 15 minutes to cook rice kasha, about 25 minutes to cook millet kasha, and also about 20 minutes to cook this. But as I already said, if you put your grain in the water overnight, it will take you just a couple of minutes to cook kasha. Okay, let's have a try. Oh, by the way, this one is still hot, and I'm adding a little bit of butter into it. Russian people like adding butter when they're eating kashas. We even have a saying that says that you cannot spoil your kasha with butter. It means you cannot put too much butter in your kasha. Now the substance is like this. I mean, this is millet kasha, So now you understand the meaning of the word kasha. It means something messy. That's the millet kasha. Okay, sweet. That's our rice kasha. That's our manka. Unfortunately, I've made it with limbs. Sorry, with little crumbs. And this is buckwheat. So buckwheat does look like this. And you can eat it like this, just straight like this. And by the way, we're eating buckwheat with sausages or meatballs or just fried meat. But we can also eat this with milk. So in case we're eating this with milk, we're just adding some milk. Let me show you. We can just add some milk. Sometimes we sprinkle it with some sugar and we eat it like this. I guess this is really similar to the cornflakes that Americans eat in the mornings. So this is just like a Russian cornflakes kind of thing. Okay, now I'm just gonna have a try of what I made. Buckwheat kasha. Millet kasha. Oh, it's still hot. Still very hot. Rice kasha. And manka. I hope you liked my today's video. I hope it was useful and interesting. Please don't forget to leave your comments and say your thoughts on those Russian dishes. Do you find them strange? Do you find them unusual? I would really like to hear your thoughts on these. Okay, have a nice day. Bye bye.